Sometimes it feels like, to some of us, sometimes it feels like the people that are on our side in power aren't doing enough. But they are in power, they have power, and they're here to help us get back what we deserve. We want to invite up Steve Kerrigan, chair of the Massachusetts Democrats, to talk about taking action. How's everybody doing? Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, everybody. I want to start today first. I wish you all could see what I can see. This is just a sea of Bay Staters and Bostonians and patriots who are out here fighting for our country and for our future. And I thank you all very much for showing up here today and doing your part. As Jeremy said, I'm Steve Kerrigan. I'm the proud chair of the Massachusetts Democratic Party. But I want to start today from a place of gratitude. You know, I grew up a queer kid out in rural central Massachusetts in a two-union member household, both my parents. Let's hear it for organized labor. And I know for a fact, because my folks raised us, there was very little question of whether I was going to be a Democrat or Republican in that house. I can tell you that much. But they raised us to understand what it meant to stand up for your neighbor and fight with and for each other. What?
Louder!
Oh! See, up here it seems like I'm really yelling at you. But no, okay. All right, now I'll yell. All right. So, I thought I was getting yelled at from people over there, but now they just wanted me to yell back, so thank you. But they raised me to understand the importance and the obligation. They used to tell my brother and sister and I that if you have an opportunity to make a difference, you have an obligation to try. And I'll tell you, folks, from my vantage point, you guys are doing an awful lot more than trying today, so thank you very much. And it's fitting that we're here on the Boston Common. I was in South Carolina yesterday and this morning, and I flew up this morning and I met some people on the jetway, and they were asking me, they're touring Boston this weekend, and they said, what should we, they might actually be in the crowd, I don't know, I told them to come here. Wave your hand up here. And I was telling them how proud I was that Boston Common was the first and oldest public park in America. That if you still have sheep, you can graze them here if you want, but I don't know. Fun fact. But what that meant was, gatherings like this can happen when any citizen wants to get together and share their thoughts and fight with their neighbors on issues. So this is hallowed ground, folks, not just because you are rededicating it today, but this is the same place where the Minutemen gathered to go against the Redcoats back 250 years ago. This is the place where the Fighting 54th, they worked up there and mustered to go into the Civil War on behalf of the North. This is the place where we had victory gardens during World War II to support our neighbors. And this is the place where protest, demonstration, and democracy is alive and well. So I will be brief because you have a lot of speakers to hear from. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about what comes next. We just heard from some fantastic speakers who frankly stole a lot of the lines I was going to use. So it's always a little tip, get early in the speaking program and then you can use your whole speech. But we have an administration currently that I frankly don't want to give any time to it. So I'm going to put him aside. You're welcome. For those of you, I'm a student of history. FDR gave a speech in 1944, a State of the Union, an actual State of the Union, with actual facts, as we were getting ready to come out of World War II, and he said that every American has a right to a job. Every American has a right to a wage where they can buy food and clothing for their family. Every American has a right to a house. Every American has a right to an education. And every American has a right to live and age with dignity in America. Folks, it's that simple. As we hear speakers all day today, we're talking about those central themes. You know what we don't hear from the other side? Any of that. And this is just so you know, I don't want to cut to the end, but they don't care about you. I know this is a shock for most of you here, but they don't care. But you care, and your neighbor cares, and your family cares, and your colleague cares, and your cousin cares, and that's where revolutions are made. But as I always say, we don't agonize in Massachusetts, we organize. So we have a few things to do, folks. I'm going to put you to work. In 17 days, there are 2 special elections in the state of Florida for the House of Representatives. The 1st District and the 6th District. And I'll tell you, they would like nothing more than beat us in both those districts. I'm not going to lie, they're going to be tough races. But one race is within 5 points and another one's pretty close. These are districts that Donald Trump won by 20 and 30 points. Why is it close? It's close because people like you, people like me, people all across Florida are fighting back against what they're seeing in Washington. So you're going to see some flyers being passed out where you can use a QR code and sign up to make calls. Do the work. Do the work. Make the calls. We also have a race that same day, April 1st in Wisconsin, to elect the next Supreme Court justice in the state of Wisconsin that will decide reproductive freedom rights in that state for generations to come, and will decide how they redistrict and get rid of gerrymandering in Wisconsin. So these are real concrete things that we can do in our communities and in our homes to help people across the country. And then, folks, I'll just leave you with this. We've got 598 days until the midterms, right?
We're not going to make it that long.
Yes, we will make it that long. Yes, we will. Because we have work to do, and frankly, the nation depends on it. So as I mentioned, I was in South Carolina last night, and I heard a story. A gentleman was telling a story about his father. They were doing construction work. This was a long time ago, and his father had him on the job, and he said, "Here, go help lift up that corner of the house so we can get a level under there." And this kid went over there, and he worked hard to pick it up, and he was trying all the different angles and trying to get this corner of the house up and just couldn't do it. And then finally the father came over with a jacked that house right up. And the son said, "Why didn't you tell me about that before?" And he said, "Look, it's to teach you that when you have a problem or a task, make a plan, get the tools, then go to work." We have to make a plan. Whatever your plan is, make it. Make it. And get your tools and get to work. The nation depends on it. You're going to be the person we're waiting for. You are patriots just like all the other ones who have been standing on this common throughout generations. And I thank you for coming here, and I will see you along the road. Let's go fight win. Thanks, everybody.